Good morning, everybody. It is February 20th, 2018, 6:33 a.m. That's Eastern Standard Time for me. Alright, we have some crazy weather going on right now in the U.S. We have flooding, we have freezing, we have record high temperatures, as well as a winter storm. We also have record low temperatures going on in areas of California and San Francisco. We have every single season going on right now in the U.S. that you could possibly think of. It's unbelievable. Alright, so just so you guys know, I have some satellite images brought up for you that we're going to get into in a second. But first, this site here I use a lot. This is at weather.gov. This is basically a warning and county by county information map, you can say. I guess that's the best way to describe it, where individual counties are labeled by their warnings and watches. Now, if you see here in this purple, this is basically where Winter Storm Oliver is, which just passed over Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, a little bit of the upper north areas of New Mexico, and then moved into like Nebraska, South Dakota, all that stuff. And it was a snowstorm. Winter Storm Oliver was its name. It actually got a name. And that is because we have a massive dip going on. You can see it right here. It goes down the Pacific Ocean all the way into Mexico, and then it rides right up through Texas and then through the Great Lakes currently. But what this dip is doing is allowing that cold air in Canada to be all down in the west of the United States, and that's why we are seeing record low temperatures in areas of California, of all places. Now, with that said, we also had the snow dumped in the middle of the country, basically overnight last night and during the day yesterday. And then we have the other side of this dip, which comes up this way. And then we have record high temperatures all over the Northeast, all the way down to Tampa. Tampa tied the highest temperature for February ever yesterday. So this is an ongoing thing. It's going to go on through tomorrow, as this strip here you see. This is where we have massive flooding going on, lots of rain, and there's also a very distinct, there we go again with the flashing. I hate that so much. Sorry about that, guys. It's just reloading frames. You can see the blues and those reds here. This actually extends further than what you're seeing. We have potential for really, really bad flooding in these areas. Kansas City seems to be that line. And the reason I say that is because you can kind of see right here, we do have this wide band that's going right up the middle of the country from the Gulf all the way up into the Great Lakes, and that's basically where Winter Storm Oliver is at this time. It's moving more across the top areas of the United States, and then now it's going to move its way over the Great Lakes. But what it's going to do, it looks to be that it's going to go over top, at least the cold snow. There may be some snow over the weekend in some higher elevations of the Northeast, but we're talking the Northeast. Now, you can see down here this very dry air is also being pulled up. Now, some of this is being pulled up from all the way near the Pacific Ocean, across Mexico, up over Texas, and then up through the Great Lakes. And that's why we are looking at a lot of flooding issues going on. Literally, where I'm circling my mouse is all under flood watching. The river, the St. Louis River, all the rivers and creeks in this area are recording much higher elevations than normal, and that's because we are not used to having these type of temperatures, these highs going on in the month of February, where we still have an ice pack in a lot of these areas, especially as you get more north towards the Great Lakes and areas of Illinois, Indiana, Michigan. These warm temperatures, even moving into Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is expected to record a record high today in the month of February. So very, very different weather going on. You can see here some of the average temperatures we're expected to see along today, and this will be mostly tomorrow. You can kind of see this line here. Just kind of shift this over Lake Michigan and put it about right here, and that's where we're going to be tomorrow. So you can see Winter Storm Oliver is in this area here. It's moving its way across the Great Lakes, but we have that jet stream loop that I was just showing you on the satellite, and it's kind of pulling it up and spinning it over top of the Northeast rather. So again, over the weekend, some higher areas, the elevations in the Northeast may get some snow, wintry mix, but for the most part, the jet stream, once again, I'm telling you guys, you're going to hear me say this forever. The jet stream is in control of the weather in the United States. It always will be until something changes it. That's all there is to it. So That's what's allowing all this cold air down into these states, including areas of San Francisco. Look at some of these temperatures in California, 29, 30, 32. These are low temperature forecasts for Wednesday the 21st, which goes into tomorrow. So that's from today into tomorrow. So look at this, 47, 42, 35, and then we have below zero temperatures just where we're seeing Winter Storm Oliver, which just again passed over Colorado and areas of that part of the country. And then we have this line here. Now this line where you see the lime green, where I'm circling all the way from Dallas, St. Louis, Missouri is under flood watch, and then we have Kansas City, Missouri with an ice storm going on. So that's how distinct this line is. So basically you put yourself in this strip right here, you're under flood watch, including creeks, rivers, lakes, anything that has water sensors. You can actually check these sensors on different websites, which is really cool. I'm trying to keep this video short, or I would show you guys that. But then obviously you see here in the Northeast and in the Southeast, we have record temperatures being broken all over the place, including New York. There'll be some records broken there. And then as you get down into Kentucky, Tennessee, and then south of that, you see we have 60s and 70s. Some of these temperatures are actually being lowballed because we had the record almost broken in Tampa, Florida, which was 80-something. And there's a piece right here in the Gulf that's recording almost 92 degrees. So a lot of this dry air, I'm going to go to this this satellite image again. It might flash, so those of you that don't like to flash, and cover your eyes for 1 minute. Just let it go through. Let it pass. There we go. Okay, that's enough, please, with the flashing. Oh, man. Alright, there we go. So you can see the warm, dry air also being pulled out of the Gulf, as well as the dry air being pulled. This is a strip all the way from Mexico. And once again, here's that strip we're talking about with all the moisture going on. And this strip is going to start gliding from west to east. It's going to go in a diagonal direction. And eventually all this rain is coming to the northeast. That would have been Winter Storm Oliver. But once again, because of our jet stream, you can see it dipping down here, it's going to pull Oliver over top of the U.S. You could see it more distinct here in this water vapor loop. So you can see the loop comes down all the way into the Pacific Ocean. The loop kind of is like right around here, but the force of this pulls up moisture from different areas. Again, Pacific Ocean, Gulf of Mexico, all this strip here is massive amounts of moisture. And because we have such cold temperatures on this side, and then warm, super warm temperatures from the Gulf and the Bermuda high pressure pressing it all in against northeast, it's being sucked in. You can see it being pulled in from the Caribbean here, up through the Gulf of Mexico, and then boom, right into the northeast. So this is where all the warm air is coming from, basically the Caribbean, and a little bit even from Mexico, being pulled all the way across Mexico through Texas up into the Great Lakes areas. And that's why we have this line going on that you can almost see on Ventus Sky here too. So we'll switch to Ventus Sky. I know it's a lot of information, but same concepts I'm trying to explain here. This line right here is where you're seeing the distinction between the warm and the cold. It's rain, snow, and then in the middle is that mix. We have ice going on. We have ice storms on one side of this line, and then we have flooding and super downpours of rain. In some areas, 8 inches of rain, guys. We're talking, okay, so from Dallas all the way up to about St. Louis, you make a little circle just like this. That's potential for 5 to 8 inches over the next 2 days. That's what's causing the Ohio River Valley to flood, areas like that. And then on the other side, like I just showed you, Kansas City is under an ice storm watch. Now, Kansas City probably won't get the flooding only because that line is going to continue to move west to east. It's going to continue to make things much colder. That dip is going to move across, but it's going to kind of bend up over the northeast. So it's not going to cover areas of Florida and North and South Carolina. They're not looking at cold temperatures from this dip. At least it doesn't look that way yet. You can see here, flood threat continues, Ohio River Valley. This is an updated article today. We have Winter Storm Oliver causing pileups in Salt Lake City, Utah. This was yesterday. And then rare 70s in the northeast. So they're talking about both of these dramatic temperature changes. I guess this is some kid falls on the ice. I don't know why they're even showing that, to be honest with you. This chart is pretty cool. This is a live lightning map. This shows live lightning strikes. I guess they're not totally live, but the strike will happen and then it'll immediately show up on this map. So you can see again that strip I'm talking about where that hot and cold meet, lots of lightning going on. Anytime you see that little circle shooting down, that's live lightning. So this is a live chart. Lots of lightning going on in that strip between the warm and cold. Like I said, dip in the jet stream, that wall is coming right up through Dallas, Texas and into the Great Lakes. And then we'll get into that in 1 second. What else did I have to show you? Okay, so here is some more of those maps that show the record lows. This is the feels like temperature, including wind chill -30. That's crazy. Salt Lake City, Utah, they just got the snow. The snow moved across, and now we're getting into Minneapolis. The bottom edge of Oliver is around Chicago. Kansas City, you can see, is right on that hot and cold line. That's why Kansas City has the ice storm. St. Louis is getting flooding. And then, boom, all the way from Dallas up through Chicago even. Chicago, all the snow has melted. But that's going to switch over to a freezing rain almost. So it's warmer now in Chicago, 40s, maybe 46, 47, and then that band is going to come across. It's going to get colder, and it's going to freeze. And that's the same concept that's going to move across the Great Lakes. But as that happens, this is going to pull up, and we're going to keep these warmer temperatures down in this area. And I guess that cutoff line could be right around here. It's hard to tell at this point. I don't want to make any predictions. All I could tell you is what's going on for at least today and tomorrow, and we're talking about warm temperatures in the Northeast, very cold right behind it with Winter Storm Oliver, and record rain going on right around here, which is going to be a total mess for the next 2 days. So, and again, that is moving into the Northeast. You can see it on this here. This is our water vapor band, so you can see kind of it's being pulled over the Northeast even now. Outside it's wet where I'm living, and I'm in Northeast Pennsylvania right now, so we did have some rain overnight last night. New York's getting rain, Great Lakes area's getting rain, but they're on that cutoff line of freezing and warm. So that's what we have right now, guys. We got some crazy weather going on, lots of different situations to look at. Here are the current temperatures in the Gulf, still warming up. More and more of that water is bleeding into the Gulf. You even see it now going up the east coast of Florida and up the east coast of the U.S. This is 70-degree water once you get out past the coast a little bit, even as far as the Delaware, basically, is what I want to say, Chesapeake Bay. You can go out far enough, the water gets warmer as you go out, and this line is going to get closer and closer to the Northeast as time goes on. I check this daily. It's a very good map. Let's see. And also, on Ventu Sky, I just wanted to show you this whip we have going on that's out in the Atlantic Ocean going up towards the UK and Ireland. Boom, look at that. We have 70-mile-an-hour winds almost, 60 plus, okay? And when you match that up with this, you can see why that's happening. It's this big whip coming down from our jet stream once again, and it's causing that spin. It's almost looking like a cyclone-ish hurricane type deal coming from the north. Actually, it's not a hurricane, it's not any of that, so don't worry. I'm just saying it's very interesting to see that as we've been covering cyclones. Alright guys, I didn't want to make this too long. Right now we do have Cyclone Gita on top of New Zealand. Literally is causing its issues as we speak. I'll check on that later this afternoon, but for now I will let you go. Basically, if you live on this line right here, anywhere from Dallas, Texas, all the way up through St. Louis, Missouri, a little bit to the left, you got Kansas City, Missouri, and up into the Great Lakes, you are under ice storm / flood watching for the next 2 days. Massive amounts of rain. In the deep middle of this area, we're talking 6 to 8 inches, and then there's an outside band that goes around like this. 3 to 5 inches of rain over the next 2 days, and that's going to move into the Northeast. Alright guys, enough info for one video. I hope everyone has a great day. Stay warm, stay cool, stay dry, and I guess that's all you can do. We got everything going on. I'm not kidding. It's crazy in the U.S. right now. Alright guys, have a great day. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you later this afternoon. Bye-bye.